Welcome, Oracle by Jess here, and we are going to do another Oracle message for you today. Um, See what you're needing to hear. Well, we do have a topic we're going to focus on, but I do want to pre-start. Oh my goodness. Okay, vocabulary seems to be taking a hit today, but that is okay. So across the street, we have somebody using a weed whacker. I'm not sure if the mic is going to pick up on it or not, so I do apologize if that is disruptive. Um, I came out here because of the birds and it's nice and it's peaceful. And this a big part of this message is how can you reconnect with nature and your natural cycle, and especially in a society that is so driven by ego. Um, Now, I will say, as this experience, I am mainly talking about the American experience, not because I don't think other places have this issue as well, but because I am American, I'm from America, this is my experience. Well, we're not really talking about my experience here today, but essentially, I can only speak on the experience as an American. So take that as you will. But um, we live in a society that is very pushes us to focus on how we can progress as an ego, not a soul, how we can gain more and do this and do that, and not in a way that expands your consciousness, but in a way that traps you in a box, of I need more money, I need we've society has created a very precise picture for most people of what success looks like to them. Have the nice job, have the nice house, have the picture perfect family. And yeah, there are plenty of people who have recognized that that does not seem like success to them, but there are plenty of people who are trapped in the illusionment that they should feel happier with where they are because they have the house, they have the job, they have the family, and they're not satisfied. You know why? Because they followed the blueprint that society said they should follow instead of what their soul said they should follow. Now, I could go on all day about how our society is set up to trap us in our ego and to keep us in a trap of reincarnation, um, almost enslavement. Like, that is a topic for another day, not for this video. So if you're interested in that, though, please let me know because I would love to do a deep dive and talk all about that. But today we're going to focus on how can you come back to your soul a little more. So we're not going to do anything major like, oh, you got to quit your job and go live off grid, because I understand, like, while a lot of you watching this may hear that and be like, dude, that's my dream, but realistically I can't make that work right now. For Are we connected? Sorry guys, sorry, had to make sure it's connected. Last time I tried to record a video, it kept disconnecting. So, oh no, we lost our train of thought. Oh, we're gonna focus. Yeah, so we're not gonna be talking about, oh, quit your job, go off, live off grid. That's gonna make your soul happy. Which I am sure a lot of you were watching this, if you 333, that it probably would make your soul very happy. But I also have an understanding that we are already so ingrained in this society, and we can't dismantle it all at once, especially when those around us aren't willing to dismantle it either. So we've kind of entered a space where we may feel trapped, but you are not trapped. That is also an illusion. Yes, you can't go change it overnight and live off grid overnight. Some people can, and if you can and you feel called to, you should. But if you can't, that is what we're here to talk about today. How can you align with yourself a little more, make yourself feel a little more in balance in this soul sucking society that we have? So we have the card starting out. This is from a deck, an oracle deck. Oh, it's made by a small creator. I love her. Her name is Janine Burgess. This is the Wings of Transformation Oracle deck. It is a very beautiful deck. The guidebook is also very beautiful. We're not going to get that out today. Yes, yes. Okay. So this is the Harmony card. I am going to read it out to you. So with Harmony, the bumblebee is a symbol of productivity and diligence, showing that personal goals are achieved through consistent effort. While devoted to its work, the bumblebee also pauses to savor the sweetness of life, resting in flowers and enjoying nectar. It teaches us to balance hard work with moments of joy and renewal, guiding us to harmonize our pursuits with the simple pleasures that nourish the soul. So, something I want to touch on first is get clear on what your goals look like. Not necessarily what your goals look like, but what you want your life to look like, and are the goals that you have set out for yourself, is that something that's going to lead you towards this? And now this can be easier for some people than others, because if you have a family already, you have kids, you have this, you're a little more restricted in the freedom that you can, because you know if you're single, and it doesn't matter if you're old or young, if you're single, you don't have as much, single with no kids, preface that, sorry. You don't have as much financial burden, obviously, not as much tying to specific jobs. But I also want to remind you that even if you do have a family and all this to care for, if you feel tied down and bogged down at your job, and you just feel in your bones that this is not where you want to be, this is not good for you, your soul can help you find a job more fitting. Obviously, that's easier said than done. Um, I don't even want to dive too much into that. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. Um, and more so, even if you do hate your job, whatever, and you're like, no, you're talking out your ass right now, I can't quit. Okay, that is fine. You can't find something better. Completely disregard that. How can you bring more meaningful moments in your life every day? Is it even at your job or when you get off? Can you go to the bathroom and take 10 deep breaths? Probably actually don't want to do that in the bathroom. There's just so many different avenues of things you can introduce into your life. Now, this is starting to sound like silly. Silly. We don't. We're gonna move forward. Um, we're gonna use the animal spirit oracle, and we're gonna get a card, and we're definitely going to read from the guidebook, but we are going to see what are you kind of embodying now, and where would be better for you to kind of focus that energy. So first card we're going to pull for this deck is, where is this collective currently, what is their current output of energy, what is their current aura, I guess you could say. We have that of the crow sticking out. Okay, it stuck out, it didn't come out, we're not going to take it just yet. If it's meant to come out, we're going to get some flyers today. That is what we want to take. 7:55. Okay. But yeah, sorry for the video quality. We know we're trying new things, getting better here. This is only my second video out on YouTube. The first one is a mess. If you can just look at that if you'd like. Didn't even film it in the right layout, so that was not cool. But it was a 40-minute long reading, so we left that as it is. Anyways, we're getting way off track here, so center back in. What does this collective, what are they embodying? What energy are they most embodying right now? That is what we're first gonna pull in their life, especially with the way that there's some sort of feeling of entrapment. Now, this is at its core some sort of illusion, because we're never actually truly stuck. Yeah, we might have some obstacles, but we are never actually truly stuck. That is an illusion of the mind. That is an illusion of the ego. I'm not saying the options are good or they're going to feel good to do, but there are options. And so what is, okay, we got camel. So we're going to read from the book. Okay. The camel is resourceful, independent, and knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything, as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease. Even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger, the camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opportunities into balance, fire, and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway land. When in balance, you're calm, content, and there's a sparkle in your eye. When you're out of balance, you're dehydrated and lack vitality. To bring into balance, a pilgrimage. Interesting. So, to talk about this, so the energy you're currently in isn't negative at all, which I also don't want to sit here and say you know everything's negative or positive. It's a lot more nuanced than that. And we do need to be in negative energy sometimes just to rebalance things, to learn things. But with this, I feel like, so we're talking big about this illusion of society, and I think whoever is guided to watch this and has had the message resonate so far, you actually are very aware that society is kind of just created an illusion of what we're supposed to be doing, and you know that that's not true. Like, everybody lives by it like this is some sort of law, and you know that it's not. But you also don't know, like, the people around you aren't hearing that. If you either you haven't even tried because you just know that they're not going to understand what you're saying, they're going to think you're like a lunatic, or you have tried saying this and they treated you like you're crazy, treated you like, you know, um or even if they do agree with you, they're like, well, nothing we can do about it, we live in this society, you know. And it's like, you feel deep down, you know that they're wrong, but you also aren't like over here trying to argue with people. You've kind of accepted that, okay, no one else agrees with this. And I don't know, if for some of you it may feel like no one else in the world, and then you came here and you're like, okay, there's other people. Or for some of you, it's not that you feel like there's no one else in the world, but you feel there's no one else around you, and that can still feel just as isolating as feeling like there's no one else in the world. But I promise you, you were going to come into a place where you find this, and a pilgrimage. Okay, so if you are feeling out of balance, which this whole reading is about coming into balance, so it is likely that you are feeling out of balance. A pilgrimage doesn't have to be physical. It can be a mental journey. You can, oh shit, shoot, darn, sorry guys, I do apologize, I dropped a bunch of cards. But it can be a journey within your mind, your own mind. uh you can meditate. A lot of people, I just have a feeling that someone's like rolling their eyes at that, like, girl, I don't want to meditate. That's okay, you don't have to meditate if you don't want to. We have dolphin, it was flipped upside down. We're not gonna look at the card, but that's maybe a sign or something, or maybe of significance for somebody. So where are we at? We're losing train. Okay. So we talked about the camel, where, oh, I feel, okay, you guys fell. Probably not gonna edit that out because, oh well. Um, there's little, oh, shoot, I keep dropping everything. Some of you feel like you kind of just want to drop everything and run to the woods. Oh my god! And if you can, you should. You don't have to. Well, obviously you don't have to. If you don't feel like doing that, then obviously don't do that. Don't do anything you don't feel like you're doing. Okay. But what we talked about, the camel energy of keeping your cool, um, knowing that the truths are within too. I feel like that's something else that I didn't mention. Um, it's not that, I think there's a strong sense of opinion too, where a lot of times when everyone around us is telling us that the opinion we have is crazy or weird or wrong, we start to believe it. But I don't feel that here. I feel there's very strong, you just stopped sharing it. It's not that you don't believe it yourself. It's just that you're like, okay, I'm not going to share this with people who aren't going to listen, aren't going to believe. Right? So anyways, we're wanting to focus now on, so they're currently embodying the camel. Is there any energies they should call upon and try and embody more to help them progress forward, to help them figure out where to go, and also just to more so bring them back into balance? We have dragonfly coming out. So once again, we are going to look in the book. Master of light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder and awe. This dragon The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. Sees clearly, joyful, magical. Oh, that's when you're in balance. Sorry, I forgot to read that. And then when you're out of balance, can't concentrate in a busy mind. To bring into balance, focus on the breath. Okay, so I feel this next stage of existence for you is really about going into your own mind and, first of all, acknowledging illusions that are in there that you don't even recognize are illusions and that have led you to certain ways of thinking and certain perspectives. It's all about perspective shifts here and seeing things from multiple perspectives. And just because we have a perspective shift doesn't mean we go from one end of the spectrum to the other. It's almost like we're at one end of the spectrum and then we discover the other end of the spectrum so that we can come to the middle and more of and view things more neutrally, if that makes any sense. And it's also, I feel a lot of this seeking right now, you're seeking outwardly. You want information, you want somebody to tell you what steps to take next, and you're not looking within as much as you need to be. Um, yes. That same person who rolled their eyes earlier about the meditation, because you keep hearing you need to look within, you need to meditate, and you don't want to. That is, you need to have a perspective shift, first of all, that looking within is like this daunting or boring. Some of you may think it's boring, some of you may think it's daunting. Um, and quite frankly, this is just something you're going to need to learn to get over. Uh, and I feel, you can. Well, obviously you can. Are you willing to? I don't know. That's up to you. You have free will. You don't have to. But to expand as a consciousness, this is where you're going to keep getting stuck if you don't want to delve within. I think a lot of people have this idea too that there's more negative aspects within ourselves, right? The shadow work. And if you start acknowledging that, the shadow is just going to grow and the shadow is going to take over. And, you like step into the shadow and then you're going to completely forget the light and you're only going to exist within shadow and you're only going to be a like all these bad qualities are the only things that are going to happen when that's not true. You stepping into the shadow is not going to create more shadow. It's not going to make the shadow bigger. It's just going to focus on it for a second. And the same way focusing, if you have a bunch of chores to do and you also want to go out and have fun and eat breakfast, you going out and eating breakfast and focusing on breakfast isn't going to make the chores go away. You are going to have to deal with them at some point. Um, think of your shadow work as a chore. You can keep pushing it off. You can keep pushing it off. It's not going to make it smaller. Um, that wasn't the best. That's not. I don't know why I used that analogy because it wasn't even or a metaphor, whatever. It didn't even necessarily touch what I wanted to touch. Okay. There's just a level of uh, there is some sort of illusionment in your mind, whether this be through like something you've learned over time since a kid or that's been fed to you, or maybe like some idea that you came up with on your own that your mind is false and it just makes things up. So you don't want to meditate because you're like, I don't want to go into la la land, dreamy, la la la. And to be quite frank with you, I don't know why you're watching this video. It's like, it feels like, if that is the case, it feels like this is a very, like, you believe in the soul and developing the soul, but at the same time, this this may be more specific for a specific person in this video, and even if this video only reaches one person, then maybe it is this person. There's a level of, okay, I think that is what you may be unaware of that needs to be deeply, deeply looked at. Is you on the surface are saying interesting. Okay, hang on. I'll tap back into that. You believe in the soul. You believe that the ego is trying, but everything that we've talked about this far, you believe in, but on a deeper subconscious level, you also deny it. You say it's not real. You say it's just this woo woo crap that people want to do. And I think that's tied into, everyone around you saying that shit. And on a subconscious level, you do have beliefs with that. You do still hold with that. So you're not, it's blocking you from moving forward, because how can you learn stuff and move forward if you don't actually believe it? We have the cosmic egg and the black egg on the bottom and the top of the deck, like, and these are both very spiritual cards. They talk about the spiritual realm, more so, and the seats of consciousness and stuff like that. And so I think it's very interesting that it's encasing the whole deck in a way, where if you believe in the soul or whatever, but at the same time, it's like you need a different perspective and understanding of the soul to be able to access all the information in between. And it's like, the soul exists, and you know that you have a soul. So your soul and the soul exists. But all this information in between you can't access right now, because the hidden the subconscious beliefs that you are still holding on to as if they are truth. So let's put this deck up, and we are going to see for a second, is there anything else? Okay, we're back. I got a new deck, and I will say, like, as I was opening this deck, this got caught in the wind and flew away. It's number 2, Illumination. And yeah, it is coming to light, 22:02 on my clock, as I am saying this. So we're gonna ask here. We had a question and now it's gone. How do you illuminate? Okay, that. How is this collective going to illuminate these aspects of themselves, or these subconscious beliefs that are kind of keeping them trapped? Okay. Shift your energy, number 19, and then the bottom we have 21, fresh approach. Okay. You need to be looking at this from a newer perspective. You need to be more open. I do want to focus on this card for a little longer. The longer you look at this card, it's not like this with basically this whole deck, but the longer we look at this card, the more we start to see within its imagery just the vast, like, everything's made out. Her hair is made out of trees and roots. Her arms are made out of a stream, and then we've got this rainbow. We have this floral, and here her ear is a flower, and it is sprouting, and there's the roots of the flower is her ear. These wings, are they her wings? I don't know. It's actually a little unclear if these are wings or just a background, but the more you look into it, they're made out of all these different creatures, these mammals, insects, all sorts of things. We have dolphins and the ocean and the mountains and the clouds. And within these are also creating, they're creating the image. What is behind this? Did not know this was behind this. Okay, we also have open your heart, which feels very, yes, okay. I think that's where it's going to lie for a lot of you, is you believe this stuff. You're consciously content with the others around you not believing it, but what you're not content with is them judging you for it. And so that's why you keep quiet about it. And this is not saying you need everybody in your life to believe the same things as you, but there's this deep wound of, if they hear what you believe, they're gonna disrespect you as a person or think of you as stupid and stuff like this. And that is a fear that you need to work through. It's gonna working through that's gonna look different for everyone. Some people in your life may just need to be left behind to make up space for people who see your soul truly. And for others of you, it's just accepting that you're not always going to see eye to eye. And some of it is a projective fear that you think that these people in your life are going to call you crazy for believing this. But they actually won't. It's just you've trapped yourself in this illusion that if you share this, you're going to be called crazy or whatever, so you don't share it. And for others, you may actually be called crazy by your circle for sharing this, but if your circle is making you this deeply stagnant, should you continue keeping a place in that circle? Because if that's the case, you're allowing these people and energies to take up space that could otherwise be cleared up for space and energy that is more aligned with what you believe, more aligned with your truth. I think we're gonna leave this here. We'll pull one more card for anything else this collective should focus their energy anywhere else they want to. Okay. Expansion, 12 expansion, and 33 be gentle with yourself. Okay. I want, again, see this woman faint in the background, shaking hands with others, experience, expand. And as you expand, try and understand more. Try to look at things from different perspectives. Are we still alive? We're still. Yep, we're still alive. Okay. So yeah, focusing on expanding your energy field. Don't shrink down. Okay, that's a big thing. Yeah, don't shrink down so other people don't. Do not put your comfort at risk trying to make other people comfortable. Do not make yourself uncomfortable trying to make others comfortable. And then we also have be gentle with yourself, number 33. So throughout this, you're going to find many aspects of yourself being frustrated, many times where you feel like the opposite of what you wanted to happen is happening, and that is okay. That is what we're here to learn. That is what expands us. Just like in the gym, your muscles don't grow from just working out is uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable, but that is how you grow. That is how you expand. Oh, we have a beautiful bird flying around in the back over here. Okay, whatever. It's going to be uncomfortable at times, but that is part of the expansion. That is a part of it. And if you want to live in comfort and ego, then you have free will. But if you've watched this video this far, you want to expand your soul. I'm sure you do, because why would you waste 30 minutes of time watching this video if it doesn't matter to you, right? So just be gentle with yourself through this experience. Open your heart. Allow yourself to get hurt, because you know that at the end of the day, you have yourself. You can continue to transform, and you will start to recognize when people are being mean to you or don't like your ideas and stuff. It is more of a projection of how they view themselves and how they allow themselves to think than how they truly think about you. We can only judge other people in the same vein that we judge ourselves for a lot of the time. I mean, there is some nuance with that. Of course, there's some people that judge other people more than they judge themselves, but those judgments are always a projection of their internal reality, not your actual actions. And I will say, like, don't let this cause some sort of psychosis where you're like, oh, well, this person said I was mean and had a bad attitude, and instead of checking yourself and being like, well, oh, there's a bug in me, you actually had a bad attitude, and like fixing that, you're like, no, that's just a projection of the reality. Yeah, no, that's unhealthy. But like, you sharing what you believe about your soul and energy and all this, and people calling you stupid and stuff, well, that is a projection. That is them projecting, right? Just like use your discernment. Learn the difference between your anxiety, and I think a lot of you may have watched this and may feel some sense of frustration here, because I didn't tell you where to go. I didn't tell you what to do. But that is what this is about. This is your journey. This is your soul. You're supposed to go within and pave the path. Find the next path. I am not here to hand you a blueprint. I'm here to guide you back to your own soul to figure out your path. Your path does not look like my path. My path does not look like your path. Yeah, there may be some similarities, and I may have some advice along the way, and maybe you even have wisdom and advice for me. But ultimately, they do not look the same. I can't hand you my blueprint. This is for you to discover within yourself. Um, and it's not to say you can't watch any tarot readers and you can't watch any of these things, these self-help things, but those aren't going to give you're never going to find the direct answer within any of those. They may inspire action that takes you to your answer, or thought paths that take you to your answer, but the answers are within you. All right, I hope this helped. Yes, if you have any suggestions, let me know. This is my second YouTube video. I'm hoping to create more and gain some audience, because last video filmed so poorly that it got 0 views, which is fine. I trust that these messages find who they are meant to find. I also ask that Spirit does take this video to the people who are meant to hear it, the collectives and collective consciousness that needs this message at this time, at any time. So this is timeless. Like, obviously I'm posting it when I post it, but even if it's up 10 years later and somebody needs to hear it, let's show it to them then. Yes, please find who you're meant to find. Again, if you have any suggestions, I don't know if I said this already, video topics, just suggestions in general, let me know in the comments. And as I said, this is my second video. I have no subscribers yet, so if you want to support me, especially early on, because I'm hoping to grow. Yeah. I mean, we all hope. So if you want to be part of that early collective, then subscribe. Like the video. You don't have to. You have free will. I will appreciate you greatly if you do, though. All right. Have a good one.